So we were talking about Prateek on how HR analytics is still a new field in HR in India. So, but I was under the impression that almost all the companies are using it. So some thoughts on that.
So definitely, yes, companies are using it, but what they are using exactly is the question, and it depends on the maturity level of the analytics function in that company. Because analytics, a right output of analytics is a function of the right data and right data structure in the company. So if company is not matured enough, they don't have the right HRMS system, right data governance mechanism in place, then the data is not accurate. And
Mhm.
when you don't have a right and accurate data
Mhm.
into the system, then the output is not good. Like it said, garbage in is garbage out. So, and that's where companies are moving towards. And most of the companies are still at this stage of where they're producing Excel reports. They have a huge functions where the reports are published on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis for the consumption. From there, in the analytics, you move to the next level,
Mhm.
uh, which is creating dashboards. So
Mhm.
there are companies who have moved to the BI dashboards, maybe doing on the Power BI, maybe doing on the Tableau. Few companies have outsourced this function
Mhm.
to the bigger firms who are doing these things for them. There are very few companies who have in-house. They
Mhm.
have done the investment to get people who are doing it on a regular basis. So
Mhm.
this is like, if I talk about the analytics terminology, this
Mhm.
is the descriptive analytics, where you are just looking at what had happened in past.
Correct.
And from there, you move on to the next stage, whatever has happened, why it has happened.
Mhm.
And from there, you move. The next maturity level is predictive analytics. We
Mhm.
are able to predict what can happen.
Mhm.
So if you know what had happened,
Mhm.
if you know why it has happened,
Mhm.
then you can predict to a certain level that what can happen next
For
because you
example,
already understood the previous patterns.
for example.
For example, let's talk about attrition, a very popular thing in the industry, especially in the HR area, attrition. So if you understand the previous trends,
Mhm.
what is your attrition rate, and if you're able to break it down to your country, to your division level, to your subdivision level, to the manager level, then you understand what is a trend, where is the high attrition, where is the low attrition, where you need to work on.
Mhm.
The next level, as I mentioned, is why it has happened.
Mhm.
So if you're able to dig down, if you are doing exit interviews, if you're collecting that data, if you are doing roundtables, if you're doing other surveys, which
Mhm.
is giving you that why it has happened. Basically, you're able to create a personas that
Mhm.
which kind of people
Mhm.
are leaving and why they are leaving.
Mhm.
They're leaving because of their role, they are leaving because they are not happy with the manager, they are
Mhm.
leaving because they are not happy with the compensation.
Mhm.
Then the new age models, analytics models, the large language models can do the enough calculations
Mhm.
to find out the similar patterns
Mhm.
and can predict, okay, who are the people who are at the risk of leaving in the next 3 or 6 months. So it's important to understand predictive analytics is not a crystal ball. It is a probability game,
Right.
which puts certain people on the higher probability of leaving as compared to others because of the various features of their employee in the personal life cycle based on the data available. So you're able to pinpoint and understand and talk to them. And maybe instead of going to the retention mechanism, preventively, you can go and talk to them and solve their problems. And you can reduce the attrition.
But data points that we are talking about, what are the input data points we are talking about? Number of leaves taken by an employee, for example, or is it the performance level also? Can that data also be fed in the analytic system? How do we find out that?
Right. It's a great question. So I mean, there are some misconceptions which I have uh, uh, seen over the years. That if people are taking more leaves, then probably they are prone to leaving the organization, right? Or one of the biggest misconception is there, and I'm calling it misconception because I've checked it through data that females after getting married they'll relocate and they're prone to attrition. But when if anybody in their organization look the data objectively, they'll find it's not true because
Okay.
their attrition trend rate could be similar to the other attrition which is happening in the organization.
Okay.
So how it should work is basically whatever data is available for each of the employee in the organization, personal and professional should be used. Why I'm saying that? Because that's what make the person of the name individual. Somebody is married, somebody is individual, somebody is having kids, somebody, what is the various stages of kids, is the spouse working, living in the same locality, what is the distance from the office to the home, and in the personal cycle, professional side, since how long the person is in similar role, what is the age or the generation difference between the supervisor and the individual. Now imagine a scenario, a supervisor is of a baby boomer and Gen Z is reporting to that baby boomer. There are high chances there is a friction.
Correct.
Now I'm not saying that this is the reason. Now the way it works is you assemble all the data of
Mhm.
individual and all your individuals, and then you give it to the model. Then
Mhm.
model checks it, works through the past patterns, and
Mhm.
then gives the probability that these are the top 3, 4, 5 features which
Mhm.
are causing, which is making the probability of individual leaving.
Mhm.
Now it will differ from individual to individual.
Okay, amazing. Tell me one thing. See, I'm from sales. So
Hmm.
50 was in sales, and now primarily 70% of these corporate trainings that we do are in sales for salespeople.
Right. Hmm.
Now, what I've realized is that unless the first level, the supervisor, especially at the front level, the immediate supervisor, the first level supervisor, unless that person has the leadership qualities of engaging the sales guys under him and spending time with them, helping them, coaching them, chances of attrition are very high because generally what happens is that this guy typically spends maximum time with the top achievers. So
Right.
there are six people in the team, two will be performers. So he will spend maximum time with them, or he'll start doing sales himself, start going out
Hmm.
and all.
Right.
So using data analytics, can the model predict what are the data points which would be, because I'm sure this is something which is of great use to people in BFSI, especially NBFCs, where the attrition
Hmm.
is 120%.
Right.
So how can they use the technology to maybe counter that attrition?
It's a great point, Amit, and probably I'll say that I'm able to relate to your question because I started my career as a salesperson in the banking industry. So I know how sales work, and I clearly relate to what you're talking about, how managers behave with the top achievers versus somebody who's not able to do things. And it's month on month thing. It's not that which is happening in a quarter and a year. Every day is counted in sales. Okay, what have you done today? Tell me. And so again, how it can be used in sales, how BFSI and NBFCs can utilize it. Again, it depends what kind of data is being managed. If you have, let's say, if organization is able to manage the interaction data, that what kind of interaction manager is doing with the individuals,
Mhm.
or maybe if there is a portal to capture that,
Mhm.
okay, there is a regular meetings which are happening, there is
Mhm.
a day start meeting or there is a weekly meetings which are happening, who is speaking how much and
Mhm.
what is the contribution, that is one factor.
Mhm.
Other factor would be the sales numbers or the contribution of the individual,
Mhm.
the entire revenue.
Mhm.
Third would be the compensation structure, because sales is such field where the compensation plays a big role.
Mhm.
The salary, basic salary, plus the incentives which have been offered. See,
Mhm.
one of the reasons of the high churn in the sales is because there are a lot of opportunities of sales,
Mhm.
and the competitors are end up hiring on the higher salaries. So
Mhm.
if these 3, 4 data points are available, then
Mhm.
those can be churned, put in the model, and
Mhm.
it can give some kind of indication.
Very
It can
nice.
also give an indication on the particular set of managers as well.
Mhm.
So I do say this, but there are set of managers who behave differently than other set of managers.
Correct.
It is evident also on the floor if you see, okay, there is a set of manager who has high attrition, but
Correct.
another who has a lower attrition.
Correct.
But organization values who does the number.
Correct.
So if organization has a focus on this part, then there are various of ways of doing it.
Very nice. Very nice. And now with AI coming in, where do you see this going ahead? Analytics.
It's becoming super easy with AI coming in. And why I say so, let's take an example. If I was doing the analytics, predictive analytics 2 years back, I had to train my large language model on the various aspects, then see the results and retrain it and doing it.
Mhm.
Now, if I take the example of now of Claude, Anthropic, so there I don't have to train my model. it trains the model by itself. There is already a lot of information available. I just have to upload my data and it gives me a result. I can instruct Claude uh, to check the accuracy and give me only the results when it makes sense.
Nice.
So it has become very easy. The time to delivery has become shorter, and I'm able to change, add new variables, remove variables in a shorter period of time. And my dependency on data scientists and data engineers have also reduced with this coming in.
Very nice. Very nice. So any message for young HR professionals on how they can use data science, or in case they're not using analytics right now, how should they go about it?
I would say that HR professionals should start learning this, because this is the way. The role of HR professionals should be consulting the business. They should be the trusted partner of business. And they'll be able to do that if they are able to do away from their day-to-day activities,
Mhm.
uh, the support activities. How they can do it when they understand technology, when they know what can be automated, what can be given to the agents. So they
Mhm.
free up their time from there
Mhm.
and start deep diving into the numbers. And
Mhm.
when they'll start talking the numbers, it will make sense to business, and they'll start listening to them, and they can be more helpful to the business. And that would be like a way to grow for HR professionals.
And how should they try to learn it? So they should do some courses, or how should they go about it?
There are various ways to do this. Uh, you have free courses available on YouTube's, you have free courses available on Coursera, LinkedIn. That could be a starting point. And once a professional gets enough expertise on this, can enroll for the various courses. So all the universities across India
Mhm.
are running various short-term and long-term courses for this. They provide certifications. So that is one way of learning, and it has to be a self-driven. They cannot wait to tell the organization comes and say do this. No, you need to be the one who do the course and go and say, I have done this and I want to create this new model which would save X number of hours, or this would improve the employee experience.
One challenge I foresee, Prateek, is, and your advice to young HR professionals, uh, inputting those data points, capturing those data points as the input is very important. In
Right.
case the organization is not doing it. And see, I'll tell you, in sales, another problem is maybe in FMCG, people are using app. The sales people,
Mhm.
they have started using apps. But in other industries, for example, even in FMCG, not everybody does that. In some of the companies, it's not that easy to convince the sales guys to start using the app and start inputting every order and the every visit that they make. But in other industries like BFSI or some other industries, it hasn't caught up as yet. So data
Mhm.
points, input data points may not be there. So then how can an HR professional go about it to use technology to, or it may be available, data points may be available in limited numbers, in limited, uh,
Right.
then how should they approach?
Amit, this is about how do you sell this?
Okay.
If you are able to bring value
Mhm.
to the professionals in sales, to the managers, that how it will help them,
Mhm.
it will automatically drive them to capture the data points. See,
Okay.
till the time you don't have right data available, no model can help you. Or
Correct.
if they'll help you, it will give you the generic answers.
Correct.
If you today you go ask the Claude or the Chat GPT, said, okay, what is the reason of high attrition in sales? It will give you generic answers. These are the XYZ reasons. But they may or may not be applicable to a particular organization, because
Correct.
they might be operating in the different geography, different product, different kind of salaries, different kind of professionals they have. So it would be very different. So if you are able to sell the value
Mhm.
to the professionals, that how it will help them,
Mhm.
definitely they'll do it. Like 10 years back, account opening used to be used to happen on paper. But
Mhm.
once it was explained that doing it on app would be faster, it will save their time, they're
Mhm.
doing it on app. Everybody learned it.
Mhm.
So if you're able to bring those values, uh, value additions to the professionals, they'll do it. So
And
the role is not only playing with the numbers, but to understand what those numbers will bring to the table.
thank you. Thank you so much, Pratik. I'm sure this information will be so much helpful for the HR professionals who are going to watch this. Thank you so much.
I'm sure, Amit. Thank you. Thank you for your time.